going to go live, or that should be going live. That doesn't matter. We can sort it out as we go along.
No, I brought a mouse for £11. It's fucking brilliant.
I know we have gone live. It's pre-live. Oh boy,
we are live.
We're live, but I'm not recording yet. So they can wait. The audience, it's a pre-show warm-up, isn't it?
Yeah, but YouTube be live.
Yeah, YouTube is live. But it's why I'm not recording anything.
Peanut.
Stop putting your nuts in your mouth.
I'm not putting nuts in my mouth. I like chocolate salty balls.
Oh, Dave, you're a legend.
A legend in the making.
Legend. I don't think his backgrounds work. I think they're doing something weird.
Why?
Because it's so black, it's making me. I don't know. It
makes you look white.
Makes you look like a ghost. It makes you look like a ghost.
Only on your shit computer.
Oh wow! Okay, we're going down that route, are we?
Well, I look like I'm glowing in my.
Anyway, Mike, nice to have you join us on the show tonight.
Mike's like a floating head today. It's really good. He's like the one from Red Dwarf.
Holly, yeah.
Yeah, I figured we're live. I'm not recording yet, but it's live on YouTube at the moment. Anyway, I pressed the wrong button
again, like every week.
But we can go. Well, we're 1 minute away from takeoff anyway. So thank you for joining us, boys.
We don't know what you got. It's 8 o'clock by my clock.
8 o'clock. Let's go and record and get this.
I suppose I should put my headphones on, really, shouldn't
I? It would be nice if you were prepared, yeah. Boy. Okay. It's that time of the week. The moment you've been waiting for. That time that will go down in legend as a broadcast for the world's greatest entertainment podcast begins. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 legends have gathered to bring you the best news, stories, and reviews from around the universe of nerd entertainment. Join me and Big Dave and the mighty Mike Kirby as we take you through a journey with the boys from Bossk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, what do you think of that one? Hey, that was a nice intro. No?
Yeah, a bit long.
I always want to know where you put this crappy little jingle at the end.
I like it. It's got nice, dingle dingle.
Only in your own brain.
Oh wow, boy, you two Monday grumpies today, is it?
Mate, I've been locked up for a week. It's going to be grumpy all day.
You're in your shed. You purposely locked yourself in the shed. Don't blame me.
No, I'm actually allowed in the shed today.
Well, it's been one of those weeks that everything's quiet until 5 minutes before the show goes up, and a news story broke, which I think, like last week, Microsoft bought Activision, which is one of the oldest game companies. I remember Activision from the 80s in terms of games. So it's one of the older game companies. Well,
didn't they do Ridge Racer? Not Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
Rad Racer on Nintendo.
There's a whole load of games I couldn't possibly remember. But the news has just broken that Sony has bought Bungie.
What did they have? What titles did they have?
They literally have
that one game.
They've got one game, but that one game makes their value 3.6 billion.
What game is that?
Destiny.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah,
apparently for Curtis it was a thing.
I tried to get Big Dave to play it, but he wouldn't sniff it. He wouldn't even take a look at it. And obviously, I assume, Mike, you've never indulged with the old Destiny. Never played it.
No.
Oh.
No. That's
well, anyway, for
they even know about
there,
it really.
Bungie were also famous for being the guys.
Made 2 of them apparently.
Bungie were also the guys who brought us Halo. They were the original creators of Halo, and then eventually
they left for 100,000 and didn't realise.
And then they left Microsoft and went off to make Destiny, and then a couple of years later released Destiny 2. And yeah, I guess at the moment it's multi-platform. Sony are guaranteeing it will stay multi-platform, but that purchase pales in comparison to the games companies Microsoft has bought. And I saw a story even where some shops in Belgium have put posters up warning customers that there's lots of games that they might not get if they buy a PlayStation 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so which I think is unfair, and I don't get it because Sony. It's not like Sony have been lazy with their games in any way, shape, or form. Like outside of Nintendo, I reckon Sony could probably go first party only and still be all right. I don't know if Microsoft could do that with the Xbox, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. I don't think Microsoft is going to go, we care whether it stays multi-platform. Destiny, I don't know if it brings in a large amount of money for Xbox, but we'll wait and see. The games wars continue, gentlemen. Who's Nintendo going to buy? That's the question I want answered. Are you guys still...
do they?
Huh?
Nintendo ain't got to buy anyone.
Fair point.
They've got enough, haven't they? Nintendo. They've got enough going on.
I don't know.
But the thing is, that
Mario Kart.
Nintendo could just make a weird little mushroom and have that be a game for like 7 years. You know, they don't need all this IP.
7 years, 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mario's been going like, essentially a game about a plumber that gets high. And it's been going for like 30. What was it, 30?
It's like the start to every Brazzers video.
Yeah.
1984. Nearly 40 years. That little plumber.
Yeah, it's been going a long time, Mario. What? Where are we now? So, 40 years, because it would have been the early 80s would have been the Game Watch game. So Donkey
Mario would have been out with the old handheld flip thing before that. So,
but it's gonna get really, really interesting. Especially somebody's got to buy Ubisoft. Like EA is the only company I can imagine not being bought because it's huge. But
but then they only have two decent games.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of games, especially in these sort of
they've got a lot of stuff they don't use. Like they've not done anything for Command and Conquer in forever. Like that's got big cult status, isn't it? You could do first person shooters, more strategies, RPGs. You could do anything from that whole universe if you wanted to.
What makes you think they don't? Does anything make it? Has this made? Like, I know none of you've bought the next gen consoles. Has any of this made you more eager to get involved in the game?
Nah, I like my Switch.
They don't release enough.
Do you know what I mean?
It's always the same thing over and over again. It's just repetitive stuff.
And also
they just modify the graphics.
Yeah, and also the stuff now you can still get on PS4.
Yeah.
So it gives you no incentive to get the new consoles, does it? Really?
And when they release the new consoles, they're still saying, "Oh, here's GTA 5, the new edition." It's the same game.
Yeah.
And the only new IP that came out recently was Cyberpunk, and that was god awful apparently.
That was like the worst flop ever, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it flopped hard.
A bit like the Matrix.
Yeah, Keanu's magic touch not working, is it?
Speaking of stories that and daring and danger, I don't know whether the story is true or not because I haven't seen it announced anywhere else. But apparently, Marvel's confirmed that we're getting a new Daredevil TV series.
I thought that was just rumors, isn't it?
I don't know. This article, Dave, you found this one. It was Inside Magic Net. Marvel officially announces new Daredevil series with Matt Murdock returning.
Hey, that's the first title line. Marvel officially announces new Daredevil series.
Baby, officially.
Well, I've not seen.
Do you know what? I realised what this is.
What? It's a comic, isn't it?
Yeah,
the comic.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I thought.
You didn't read it, did you? Eh? That's why.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Why would they announce?
Because it's all about it's what happens.
It's all about his new uniform with the big double D on the front.
No, I think
it's all about what happens after Devil's Reign.
Yeah,
because Elektra's been Daredevil for the past couple of months, I think,
and they've both been doing it at the same time. because Wilson Fisk has banned all superheroes and stuff. So
yeah, I haven't read any of the Dark Reign. I'm going to wait until it's collected because I've been reading not Devil's Reign. I've been reading Dark Reign, and that's been quite a lot of fun. But
Dark Reign, what was that one?
That's the one where the world loses all
Dark Ages,
modern technology. Dark Ages, sorry.
Yeah.
That's been really, really good.
Steampunk Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think I like it whenever a Spider-Man has a kid. I always think it's fun.
Well, I think that could be coming mainstream Marvel very soon.
I say in this conversation the other day, I think the smart play with Sony is if they go Amazing Spider-Man 4, they have him have a kid, he becomes a mentor to the kids, so he doesn't have to be in all the films, and then they have their own Spider-Man universe through there. Give Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 3, that's the end of his Spider-Man, but then they continue it. But then, I know you don't like him, but
I hate him.
I like him. I rewatched them. I think they've got a charm.
There's 3 of them on my list. There's him, Eddie Redmayne, and the other one, Hayden Christensen.
Leave Hayden alone.
No,
he done nothing. He done nothing to you.
Exactly, he done nothing.
You're so evil. I swear. All right. In other news, I don't know how. Like, obviously, The Rock said no to any more Fast and Furious with the Diesel and the gang. So apparently, Vin Diesel.
I found this story just for you, Curtis.
Recruit for me. You're the Fast and Furious fan.
Yeah, but I know how much you love it. You don't stop talking about it. It's like you're Zack Snyder all over again.
Oh my god! Look, you know what? I've got video documentation to prove I don't love it. They're recruiting old Jason Momoa as the villain for Fast and Furious 10, which I think
that's a good shout.
Joyce Momoa's on the rise, very much so, and he's quite a decent actor as well as being muscle bound.
He's being quite selective with what he's doing, isn't he? Because he's not been in a lot really since Game of Thrones. Has he? What's he been in?
He just wasn't in a lot of good stuff. Because after Game of Thrones, the bugger went and did Conan.
I don't even remember that.
I actually didn't mind that.
No, the first 20 minutes are great because it was Kid Conan, and Kid Conan's a badass. But the rest, like, he literally just kills left, right, and center. But the rest of the film's just like, it's of no importance whatsoever. And then he did a few other movies, but I think it wasn't until he started doing a DC casting as Aquaman.
Then he's sort of been a bit selective after that, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's done all right. So I reckon this could be a good turn for him, especially if it's going to be. They say it's the last Fast and Furious. I doubt this.
It was always on the cards up to 10.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the last time you'll see that. Like anybody that can make a film where two ghetto rats end up in space.
No, because then it turns into a cartoon what they're doing on Netflix.
They're not going to stop at that point. They're going to take it. They're going to say it's the final one, and they'll go, well, the audience still wouldn't have paid. We made $500 million out of this again. What can we do next? And it'll be Fast and Furious on Mars. I'm telling you, it's not going to stop.
You're just obsessed, though. See, I knew I shouldn't have given you this story.
Tarzan car. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
See, obsessed.
I'm not. Oh God, like, you're just crawling up my butt tonight. But anyway, on to happier news and another a special guest appearing in something. Whoopi Goldberg is back in the Star Trek saddle.
That's Guinan.
And she's going to be in Picard season 2.
And this is going to be the last one, isn't it?
Out. No, apparently they're doing a third season as well, but the third season is going to be the last one.
This is the third season, isn't it?
No, this is the second. It's just been a long time awaiting.
Oh,
so
well, I mean, they've got to be careful. You know, Patrick Stewart's not a spring chicken. You know.
Well, that's why I reckon the third one's going to be the last.
Yeah, or they just they like switch it to someone else. They call it Worf.
Well, Worf.
Star Trek.
I keep saying this. I say this every single time. Fans
I know what you're going to say.
I know what you're going to say. And they haven't done it. They haven't delivered on a Worf TV series.
Write a petition and send it to your local councillor, Curtis.
Oh, man, do you know what, you Fast and Furious fanboy? I've seen the posters in your room with Fast and Vin Diesel bed sheets. Don't come it to me.
I wished.
But yeah, she's back in the saddle, and I think that's going to be quite a nice turn. I found the first Picard season kind of bland, and to be quite honest, the end was silly. But I hope they do something more with the second season.
Where he becomes an android?
Yeah, I just thought that was just so like he's an android, okay, and he was pleased to stay the same. Like, you know, he's at that age where I don't care what century it is, it hurts when you wake up. He would have been like, so you got rid of like, I've still got the moves, right? Nope, I'm just happy to live and die at the same rate. Why didn't he just die there and then?
Because he didn't want to.
He wanted one more payday.
And why did of all the characters, why did Data want to die? It made no sense to me. I know it made, like, when you watched it, it's like,
what do you mean Data wanted to die?
Data, right, wanted to die. Data didn't want to carry on living. He wanted to die like a human would die, right?
I don't know what you mean. He was already dead.
Picard. No, he wasn't. Didn't you see the last episode? He
was dead. That was like, it was like a remnant of him.
Well, it was his memory core.
No, but it wasn't all. It was just like I dare you like a shell.
Last episode again. That was
it was like a shell. It wasn't a shell. I think you mistook that, what that meant to be honest.
Well, I still think it was silly.
Yeah.
Because he was younger. Data was the youngest out of anybody on that entire show, if you read.
Are you on your period, Kerr?
Oh, motherfucker. Why are you brutalizing me today? Data was the youngest person out of everybody in the show. Right, when they found him on the planet, he was only, a year old? By the start of Star Trek Next Generation. He's got 2 kids, one of them's died. One of them has never really met him. Why would he want to pass away?
I still think he was
dead. You get what I mean?
I think he was dead, and it was just like a remnant of him. That's what I took it as.
No, I'm not buying that. All right, next. Star Wars. Star Wars fans.
What are they angry about?
Fans. We'll review Boba Fett later. But they're still angry over the name of Boba Fett's ship. Because apparently originally it was called Slave One.
Yeah.
And they changed it to, I think, Fire Spray.
No, that's the class of it. That's the class of it.
Disney officially changed the name of the whatever.
So it's like having your make of car.
Yeah,
and then
it's a Fire Spray
Slave One.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Disney changed it, and Slave One no longer appears anywhere.
Yeah, they changed that a while back on the Lego, didn't they?
The Chad bros are upset by this.
I do think they're being a bit.
That's because she mentioned it, didn't she?
In
episode 4.
Well, they said, we can get to my Fire Spray attack ship.
Yeah,
which was all a bit long-winded for him just to say. They could have just called it. They could have just changed. They could have just changed the name, like rather than saying like, "Oh, we have to change the classification of it because it's too well known." Or Dave One.
The Dave.
Or he could have called it. Maybe he's going to rename it the Bantha Rider or something.
It was Django's ship Slave One anyway. It wasn't Bubba's, so
yeah. You could just rename it. I think that would make more sense. Have a new color scheme, and then you've got more new toys. Yeah, got all more new toys. Then
Django 1. There you go.
Django 1, job's done.
Because he was the original clone. There you go. Django 1.
See, Star Wars Chads was saved you from yourselves again.
Django Unchained 1, we can call it.
The Unchained, that would be very good. But we'll be back to that with a review in a short while. On the story of Star Wars, probably the best Star Wars game ever, or the best Star Wars franchise. Lego Star Wars is finally releasing the Skywalker Saga.
When's that? I'm excited for this.
April 5th, I believe. It's the day.
Yeah, and then it's going to get delayed by a month, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'll get it for my birthday.
It was already delayed by a full year.
Yeah, but April the 5th or May the 4th. Come on.
Yeah, they should have made the 4th really, shouldn't they?
I'm only going by what I've been given here, and I believe it's an April release now. and it'll be coming out, and it's already available to pre-order now. So I assume they've worked out all the kinks.
And your next generation, yeah?
What?
Just to sell those games.
Next generation?
Well, that's what they're going to do, aren't they?
Oh, well, look, this will be current gen. Next gen will be the, I reckon they'll probably release those separately or upgraded versions at a later date. Because it's coming out on everything. Yeah, April the 5th for Xbox X or blah, 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 PlayStation 2000, whatever. So it'll be coming out. It's going to be full of fair. Now, are you boys going to be buying it? That's the question.
It's a yes or no. I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it straight away.
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
But then you lot got Switches. They sort of games are designed for traveling. When I had my PlayStation thing, I had all the Star Wars games for that, all the Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Every time I went away on a train or a plane.
Apparently, like it's every character's going to be playable or something, and it's the whole. It looks amazing. It looks good fun. I think, I'll be.
I hope so. Every character's voiced, but you can also do the old school Lego voices as well, if you don't want to hear them. So it should be quite a lot of fun as well. Mike, this one I picked for you especially because I know you're a horror fan.
Fucking Expanse. Okay.
No. Mother, why Yana? Right.
I'm not the only one that badgers you about it.
Leave the Expanse.
I even left you a little note with the whole thing of the Expanse that you wrote down.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Netflix. Now this is Netflix's, so I assume it's still coming out in the cinema because horror tends to make a lot of money, and that'd be a missed trick if they didn't put it in the cinema. But it's a reboot, and they've dropped the first trailer. Is that something that were you ever into Texas Chainsaw? I was too terrified to watch it, man.
Oh, I love it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'll be excited for that.
And no wise with Netflix. Because Netflix, when they get hold of a franchise, they're very hit and miss sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just happy for more horror. That's not jump scares. I can't stand all the jump scare stuff.
We're going to get better than this. Although I still haven't seen The Quiet Place 2, which I know Big Dave watched, but I'm going to need to hit that up at some point. Okay, well, that should be out. Huh?
That's not a horror, that's a thriller.
Big scary alien facey things.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, I'm not. Yeah.
So cranky.
It's more of like a prequel. It's like a prequel and a sequel to the first one. It's quite a strange film. It's good, but it's strange.
Well, it's coming out in August. I think no, is it August? Well, no, I don't have a release date for it. No, February the 18th. Very romantic. So that's coming up to Netflix. They're not even releasing it in the cinema, which again, I think is quite a strange thing not to do. But there you go.
Netflix. They don't have cinema.
They do. They drop a lot of their films. I think they dropped the any big movies they've dropped in the cinema first. This is quite the last.
Name me a film.
The last film they did, The Irishman, that went into cinema.
Oh, it never.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Might not be over here, but they do it in the States because then it can pick up.
I would probably watch that in the cinema
because then they could put it up for Oscars.
Because
I like an old style gangster film.
Well, that was released, and they do that occasionally with a few of their other releases. So I'm quite surprised on something like this that can make quite a bit of money because horror films, people during a pandemic have still been going out for. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this one. Now, this is not. This one's for you, Dave. This is, I know, one of your favorite Amazon shows, The Expanse. No, get it. The Boys.
I've had enough of this. I quit.
The Boys is introduced. They put their first trailer out last week. Have either of you seen it? I know, Mike, have you seen the trailer put on?
What, for series 3?
No, for the animated.
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah.
What's it going to be based on?
I think it's
babies with laser eyes.
No, I just think it's going to be a series of sketches. They haven't gone into detail about what it's going to be too much, but I think it'll just be a little short few sketches about what's been happening in between shows.
Mm.
And a lot more the dog that has been missing from the first 2 seasons. They'll probably do a bit with that because the dog's disgraceful. Like in the book, Butcher loves terrorizing other dogs by getting his dog to rape them. So I don't know, like obviously in the show you couldn't do that, but I assume they're going to be doing some rather outrageous stuff because the first teaser they released was a dog licking its own balls. So I'm not expecting it to be clean or healthy in any way, shape, or form. But is that something, Dave? Are you looking forward to that one? Is that on your list of glory?
I'm really into cartoons, as you know, so it could be rather hit or it could be a complete miss.
Did you like Invincible?
I liked Invincible, and I liked Arcane. And that's probably about it for the last year.
You got no idea how happy I am that you liked Arcane. I had to beg you
I did
to watch
enjoy it. It took a couple of weeks, but yeah.
Well, it's a really, really good show. I think that's one of that's a franchise that Netflix has handled well. Now, what else is there? Now, as a comic book fan and a graphic novel fan, one of the first places I interacted with comic books and graphic novels was in the library, school library, and one of the books that you could usually always find was Mouse, which is a story of the Holocaust, World War II, told with perspective of the characters as mice and cats and all the rest of it. This book has been banned in the state of Tennessee, which says a lot. I think it's Tennessee. Which says a lot about Tennessee.
What was the reason?
Because it might shock or offend.
That's the point. That's the point, isn't it?
I assume they meant shock and offend the Nazis, which the state of Tennessee seems to be home to quite a few of them. But on a bright note, it did lead to a massive spike in the sale of the book on Amazon, and also a local bookseller offered to sell. To give 100 free copies to schools and to children. So I don't know what's going on in America at the moment, but guys, sort your shit out. Because you can't be banning books like that. Mouse has been around for ages. It was written by Art Spiegelman. And I don't know, it was in the same league to me as Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns in terms of quality and one of the essential reads. So yeah, it got banned in old Tennessee, which I don't know. I Alabama, Tennessee, two of the weirdest places in the world. What can you say?
Probably just someone who doesn't understand what it is. that's probably what's happened. And they've gone, what? Mouse Holocaust? No, we can't be having that. You know what I mean? I think that's just someone just not knowing what the fuck is going on.
It's a naked mouse. God damn it. We can't have it. Our kids can't see this shit.
Yeah.
Some little red trousers on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit tragic, but yeah, it got banned. I reckon that'll be reversed soon enough, but that seems to be the current trend in the States. Now, Moon Knight. I don't think, have any of us, we haven't spoken about Moon Knight at all, have we?
No.
So the trailer for Moon Knight came out last week.
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight's probably, I've never been into Moon Knight so much. I've collected a few runs, but I never really got into it because it was never either published enough or ever particularly consistent in terms of story for me. But it looks like it might be one of the big ones for Disney Plus. And like it looks like it's promising a lot of violence, close to how Netflix did their run with Daredevil and stuff like that. But it's also Disney. So I'm not, my fingers aren't crossed. I'm not imagining it'll be as good as that. But are you guys excited for it at all? Marvel's Batman. Are you ready for that one? Is it getting the old Disney Plus excitement going?
Well, I mean, they've been pretty good so far, haven't they? I mean, if you look at their batting average, it's all been pretty good. And it's also
look at their batting average. It's got to be a flop somewhere, Mikey.
Yeah. But like, it's also one that people aren't super invested in, isn't it? You know, like if they fuck this up, it's not going to make everyone so upset, is it? Really? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, because I enjoy reading it, but it's not one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I'm super excited about it, because it's one of those ones where if you don't write it well, it comes off really crap and just like a crap Batman. But the cool story is it's the different personalities within him and the brutality. So I think that's going to be fun. And also it's got Isaac, isn't it? So he's going to be good.
Isaac Hayes, yeah, he's in. I just watched him in Dune last night. He good. He's good. Okay.
It looks like they're betting heavily on their supernatural, though, isn't it? All their stuff seems to be supernatural based, doesn't it? Because you got the Eternals have that supernatural edge to it.
Yeah. And then you've got Blade coming. You've got the Black Knight. And hopefully they'll go full in. You've got Werewolf by Night. Apparently he's going to be appearing in this. And unfortunately, one of the cast actually died. I can't remember what his name was, but I think the guy who was meant to be in it, well, he is in it, died in a skiing accident in it last week, and he's meant to be one of the main characters. So that's already had its tragedy. Brought the mood down there, CJ. I know, but I figured I'd just mention it out of courtesy. But what about you, Dave? You're not a huge comic book guy. Is Moon Knight something you're looking forward to? Moon Knight.
Yeah, hit and miss, isn't it? It looks okay. But so did the Iron Fist. So let's try and knock this one out of the park, shall we?
Do you know what? I'm not going to blame you for going in on Iron Fist. If there's one Marvel project,
that was a flop.
That and it wasn't.
They were 3-0, and then they got that one, and it's like.
Well, I think it scared them a lot because they've been a lot more obvious in like changing characters.
And to be your first one of the year, it's going to be. Yeah, everyone's going to remember it.
Well, hopefully so. It will set the trend for the rest of the year.
I hope it does, because it can either be really good or really bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like it's a character that definitely isn't known by the wider world. It's not like Iron Man. People knew who.
Well, nor the Eternals, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Is trying to bring in all this new stuff so people can start another 10 years of different things.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got some big.
But now you got to remember, people don't like change.
They're doing some of their biggest storylines in the next 10 years without some of their biggest characters. Captain America's gone. Iron Man's gone. Thor will probably gone pretty soon. I reckon Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, but are they still popular with the younger generation? That's what you got to think to yourself. It's all right for people like us that grew up with all that stuff, but the younger generation were brought up with different superheroes, and now it's coming to pass with them.
And I think they're not invested, are they? So you can do what you want, really. You can do what you want.
I hope so. It's just a risky strategy for them.
Because you've got to remember, as we were growing up, they're reinventing these superheroes with different people, and this is what they're doing now. They're reinventing them with different people. So no longer going to be the original ones that we grew up with.
All I'm saying is that it's still a risk in the sense that it's more of a risk than even Iron Man was.
Yeah, but it's a risk they're taking, and I think it's good. Where DC don't, they just keep repeating, and now we're all bored.
We're not talking about DC. What did I watch with DC's recently?
I watched Shazam last week during COVID.
Actually, we'll talk about him in a bit. I didn't put him down on the list, but you both have seen a bit of Peacemaker, I presume, and I haven't seen it.
I'm up to date. Yeah, just finished it just now.
But I've got questions, but we'll get to that. All right, moving on.
I have questions if you haven't watched it, Curtis.
Because I've seen clips and stuff, and I've got questions, not about the show, but we'll get to it later. Don't worry. Just a few quick stories before we get into our reviews. Agatha Harkness, I believe they're starting filming soon on that new series. So it was Agatha all along. Will hopefully be the theme tune.
If it's not, I'm starting a riot.
But that should
be a remix.
That should be filming soon. Well, do you know what? Funny you should mention remix, because Disney had their first ever #1 in the UK last week from a film. And that was Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno. So yeah, that was the first bit of a news.
Oh, well done. Yeah, well done to them.
We don't talk
#1,
about Bruno. No.
So you've obviously watched this cartoon then?
Who didn't watch Encanto?
Not me.
It was like it was like Brazilian X-Men. Why wouldn't you watch? What?
Maybe next time my nephews and nieces come around, we might sit down and watch it.
You know what, again,
it just feels weird watching Disney movies as an adult.
Yeah,
like by yourself.
Unless it's Toy Story,
because it feels like I'm gonna have someone come in and be like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you trying to entice children into your house?" Like, just I don't know. Just feels wrong. I don't know. It's something just unsavory about it.
Oh wow! Okay, well look, I won't go on about that one. But in other news, something went.
Do you remember To Catch a Predator? I feel like Chris Hansen's going to come in and be like, "Why do you take a seat right here?" I understand
that there are certain films that I would rather watch as a date movie thing rather than watch it on my own.
It's like I watched Finding Nemo. And I never watched it, and I watched it with on a date, and it was like that was acceptable. But by myself, it just feels weird.
That's the list we should get together. Best date movies that you haven't watched yet because you're waiting for a date. And then we can do a list of those. In other films that probably need a date night, Netflix put a teaser out for Pinocchio.
Is that Guillermo del Toro?
Yes. No, is it del Toro? It's, yes, it is.
That exciting. That looks good.
It's stop animation by the looks of it. And stop motion musical. And it's got, I think, quite a meaty cast. So, and hopefully it'll be better animation than some of their bigger other Netflix projects, because Netflix needs to compete with Disney big time. Disney's now Netflix's competition in a way that HBO could only dream of. But yeah, that's come out.
I read something different in the States. HBO #1.
No, Peacemaker's #1. HBO are far from being #1.
No, HBO are like taking over Disney in the States.
No, just Peacemaker. Just Peacemaker's done downloads.
And the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. But yeah, Disney's way ahead of the competition in terms of the States. But how long that'll last, I don't think that'll last too long, but for reasons we'll discuss later. But yes, Jiminy Cricket is making his long anticipated return. A little bit of comic book news. Marvel's now announced something that's going to make the Chad's brains explode, but 2 separate comics of Captain America. One with the Star-Spangled Soldier, Steve Rogers, the other with the amazing All-American Falcon. Yes, they're both getting their separate comic books. I know, Dave, you're not
Which one wins? We'll get a cartoon.
Mike, is that something that tempts you at all? With have you ever been a Captain America fan?
I'm a big Captain America fan. I've got the whole of Ed Brubaker's run. Okay. I've got loads of the classic ones as well. And I like the Falcon as well.
Well, it's going to be Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, and the other one, I think, what's the other one called?
But
Sentinel of Truth.
They've done this before. Because when they did Hydra Cap, just before Hydra Cap, because he didn't have his real shield, he had one that sort of fired a little,
and he had the shield uniform on.
Yeah. So
well,
why not?
It looks really good. The art looks really, really good in the issues as well. And I may at least get the first issues in physical form, other than my usual digital. Because it'd be quite nice to have those. And it's quite nice Marvel stepped up and gone, they haven't backed away from Falcon being Captain America like they did the first time he became Captain America, because a lot of bros didn't like that. A black man can't be Captain America, and he's proved them wrong again. So yeah, that'll be out in April. April's going to be a very good month for us. And right, just 2 quick stories.
Stories?
Where am I missing stories? No. Oh, right. No, it's not right. You two say nothing. Telltale have announced the new computer game.
I can feel it already.
Based on the TV series, The Expanse, Amazon's #1 streaming show, sci-fi show.
Yawn.
The Expanse. That'll be coming out at some time.
Maybe they should expand something else.
maybe they should, but it's happening, and that'll be out.
Can you prove it?
Yeah. Telltale generally pretty good. It'll be coming out sometime this year.
I want to know who these people are that actually watch this program, apart from you. I've never heard anyone say, "Hey, dude, did you watch this last night?" You know, they never say, "Oh, did you watch The Expanse?" They will say, "Oh, did you see Captain America? Oh, have you seen the latest this? Have you seen that?" Not one person says to me, "You need to watch The Expanse." You're the only person, and you go on about it every week, and I still don't know anyone.
And do you know what, Dave? I find that to be.
I gave it a try. Mike gave it a try. We hated it.
I don't know anybody apart from you who likes the Fast and Furious. That's funny, isn't it?
Because they don't get drunk like me.
Oh God. But anyway, that will be coming out soon. And also, I think Dave, this story about Hasbro and Lucasfilm, was that you?
There you go. Is it done? Is Expanse done now? I can come back.
Hasbro, new story. Hasbro have done a deal with Indiana Jones with toys.
What based on 3 movies?
So like
that have already had toys.
5 movies. Come on, Black Series versions. That'd be quite cool.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, but I mean, you can only have so many indies, I guess. Indy with his jacket on. Indy with his jacket
on. You'll have a taxi. You'll have a
Indy with rolled up sleeves. Indy
using his whip as a
sweaty Indy.
Yeah. And then you'll have like Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, we could burn that one.
But then there is a new Indiana film, the Indiana Jones film coming out next year.
I'm just so nervous about that. I think it's just not going to be decent, is it? I mean, because
I managed to watch them all during COVID.
Like, I really do love Indiana Jones. I think I love the arc.
What's your name, kid?
What's it called?
What's your name, kid?
Go.
It's Mutt.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. There you go. And I think Last Crusade are great. Temple Doom is just problematic. Just you can't. There's nothing.
Oh no, Monkey Brain!
One's Temple of Doom. That's the one with the Nazis, isn't it? Well, they're all with Nazis, I suppose.
No, the second one doesn't really have Nazis. Temple of Doom.
No, it's just got Chinese gangsters and Indian religious.
Oh
yeah, the second one's the short round, isn't it?
Yeah. I just think honestly they should just reboot it. Yeah, have a young Indy, just got his doctorate. He's not professor yet, and he's off getting artifacts. Yeah, and it's just before the Nazis. Yeah, so like in the 20s, just after the stock market crashes, all that, and then you've got loads of stories you could be telling, and you can have a young guy being the actor. Harrison Ford's old now. It's done. Just start again.
Just don't let Harrison Ford act it no more.
Yeah,
I don't know why he gave that. He wanted to carry on doing this and not Han Solo. I just don't get it.
Just literally shoot him in the head at the start of the movie.
I think it's the same syndrome as who's the actor that said he can't watch Star Wars? I think he just sees Star Wars as goofy. He loves it because of the money it made him and stuff like that. But he just sees it as goofy.
What, like, Bill Burr?
No, it was the one who was in Don't Look Up. What's his name? The one who was the
Timothy
assistant.
Timothy Chalamet?
No, he abused. Keep talking. I'll come back.
Don't Look Up.
Chubby fella.
Who's in Star Wars?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, it was what's it? Jonah
Hill.
Jonah Hill. That was it. Jonah Hill said he couldn't. He just didn't care about Star Wars after watching Mandalorian. It just wasn't in his.
No, he said he didn't care about Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but then he couldn't get into Star Wars. The whole point was that Leonardo DiCaprio sat him down and made him watch Mandalorian. He was like, I just don't give a fuck.
It'd be hard to care about the Mandalorian if you hadn't watched Star Wars in the way, I think.
Yeah.
Because half of it is the nostalgia, isn't it, of it all?
No, I reckon Jonah Hill was traumatized when he was young about nerdy stuff, and ever since then he's just been like, no.
All right, mate, calm down. What the hell?
Maybe if you watch The Expanse, he might expand his mind.
Oh, you mother. Anyway, so yeah, that's news with Hasbro and Lucasfilm striking a deal to do toys for Indiana Jones, including the new film that's coming out, which obviously quite a few people are worried about, as it's completely new, completely new cast pretty much, apart from Harrison Ford. And also after the disastrous outing of the Crystal Skull, which introduced Indiana Jones's son.
How long ago was that? Did that come out, Crystal Skull?
God, I just remember the South Park.
15, maybe?
Okay, so when's this film going to be set? In the 70s?
I know, it's 15 years, wasn't it? I think
no,
they had a deal. If they didn't make one in 20 years, then he would no longer play Indiana Jones, but they've done it in 15 years.
I don't know when it's set, because all I know is that it involves, I've heard rumor it involves time travel. But in other news.
Maybe it'll link up with the multiverse of madness.
Oh, my God.
But it's also got, what's her name? Fleabag, isn't it? So she's going to be in that. So that should be...
God, this already sucks.
I knew you were going to do that. Right, so...
It's going to be like Indiana Jones' like Gemini Man version.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Faces.
Oh, it's going to be really bad CGI.
No, I'm talking ancient time travel.
Ancient? Oh, what you mean, like go to Knights?
Oh, so you're talking about Stargate?
Ancient Rome's.
Ancient Rome?
Yes.
Oh, God,
this smells of dog shit.
Like Mars and stuff, isn't it? Oh, God.
I'm sorry, guys. It's only that just because I've seen photographs and stuff.
Can we cut the video now and just go straight to video?
Oh, is that why they were filming in Scotland with Hadrian's Wall? Is it got something to do with Hadrian's Wall?
Oh, Braveheart's going to come out.
Oh.
I'm sorry, boys. I don't mean to spoil your day.
Oh, that's just ruined.
But yeah, that's apparently we're talking ancient Roman soldiers and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's time travel or ghosts or whatever.
So Doctor Who, they're basically doing Doctor Who. That's what you're saying.
But yeah, Sheila Booth won't be in it though.
Yeah, put that mutt down.
No, that's a lie. I've now seen rumor that Sheila Booth he's been spotted on set. So well, all right, well, cool.
I just gone to say hello.
I'd be surprised if that's true because Sheila Booth's in a lot of trouble at the moment. So I'd be very surprised.
Oh, is he? What for now?
Assaulting one of his partners. I doubt very much that that's the case. But we'll see. Yeah, it's Hollywood. If Mel Gibson can come back and make a sequel to...
but it's different when Disney money's involved.
Yeah, I don't know. But if Mel Gibson can return and make one of the most anti-Semitic films ever, a sequel to one of the most anti-Semitic films I've ever seen, hey... What's the little girlfriend abuse, spousal abuse? But we shall see. Now, I think we can get into our bounties, our discussionary subjects as such. Dave, you dropped this one in there. The 10 strongest movie villains.
I dropped this in there, did I?
Yeah, I thought you did.
Oh.
I thought you wanted to discuss the matter. I don't have...
Oh, no, I just... CBR brought it up last week, and I thought there'd be a good story for you to think yes or no. There's a lot of no's on there for me, but hey.
No, I've got a list in my head. CBR's list, number 10. Hold on, what is this? The 10 strongest movie villains. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, basic mental guess, I'm going Zod, Thanos.
Zod and Thanos are on the list. Thanos is number 3, and Zod is number 2.
Doomsday.
No, he's not even on the list.
Okay, what's on the list?
Well, you should know. I sent it to you.
Voldemort. I'm gonna start taking this seriously. Bane. Okay. Brixton Law. I swear, Idris thought of that name himself.
Of course he did, because he's from Brixton.
Yeah. Terminator.
I don't get why the Terminator's on there, because the Terminator, Terminator 2 was 10 times better than the Terminator.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
So, to me, that's a cut-off straight away.
Magneto. Thanos, yeah. Zod. Yeah. Sauron's number 1. Sauron has to be the weakest supervillain of all time. He doesn't actually do much.
Yeah, but he's powerful, isn't he?
But he's powerful. He took on all those armies, didn't he?
No, but it says strongest. In terms of strength, he got his ass kicked. In fact, he got defeated the moment his little finger, his pinky got cut off.
Yeah,
So
defeated by
really,
jewelry.
Yeah, he was a really poor choice to be top of their list. I reckon Thanos could have him.
They probably thought, hey, we've got nothing to do in the office this week. What can we do?
That CBR shit, that list.
Yeah, it's a bad story.
And that's it, really. There was the story about DC Comics, but I've had enough of DC. Outside of talking about, you guys need to review this because I haven't watched any of it, and I don't mind spoilers. I don't care. But before you get into review of it, Peacemaker, it just feels to me, from all I've seen, they basically turned him into Deadpool.
No, it doesn't grow back when you kill him.
I know, but the humor, it's all Deadpool.
No, because Deadpool's like a bit charming in a weird way.
Yeah, he's blatantly arrogant, don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and just tell you to fuck off.
Like, I enjoy the show, but he's not likable.
All right, well, let's get
he's
into
not likable. But you
ladies
feel
and
sorry. They make you feel sorry for him. That's the thing. They do make you feel sorry, and like, he is trying to do the right thing, but he's just a bit of a prick.
Deadpool.
No, because Deadpool's the complete opposite.
Doesn't feel like Deadpool.
Deadpool's your mate who
Doesn't
wants
feel
to
like
get
Deadpool.
stoned and get drunk every week.
Yeah.
And call it a whore.
Now, Peacemaker, I haven't watched it. You guys have watched it. How many episodes have you watched?
5.
Okay, and I know it's got quite some of the cast from the film Suicide Squad.
It's got all of it, hasn't it? Pretty much.
But, John Cena's in the lead. Now, I feel really good for John Cena because he's been trying to get like, he did Fast and Furious recently, where he played Dom's brother, which I still don't get. But
how do you not get it?
Because
he was his brother.
No, and no, but it's got it's got quite a big cast for a show of this type. It's got old RoboCop in it, Robert Patrick.
He's not really in
Terminator,
it.
You mean Terminator?
Was it Terminator? Was it?
He was the toughest Terminator.
Terminator,
yeah.
How's it all turning out? Was it worth, like, the UK's yet to get a release over here? Is it everything? Is it good? Is it worth me waiting for?
I had no expectations.
Wacky TV show.
Let me just so I can put it in some context. People are like, this is the best show ever. Oh my god!
I won't say it's the best show ever. It's just
no show.
If you should come back off the piss and you want something to laugh and joke about, you watch that.
Yeah, I've got no expectations. It's a good laugh, but it's not the best show ever. No. But it's not slow. Something happens every episode. And
there is a story to it as well.
Yeah,
with the butterflies. So.
Yeah, and all the characters are like intriguing enough that you want to keep on watching. And
they're all comics in their own way, so you just don't know what's going to come out their mouths next.
Vigilante is funny. I like Vigilante.
Freddie Stormer,
if you say so.
I saw a few clips of him.
The one they replaced.
Just trying to help you boys out with your little review.
It's just a TV show, Curtis, that makes me laugh every week. It's 25 minutes of my life that I can actually go, okay, I can watch this. Not like The Expanse for 25 minutes. I go, what have I just watched?
And considering like the
and The Expanse is on for 45 minutes, I know.
The Peacemaker's a character that I really haven't read a lot of. I think the only time there was an old graphic novel I read set just before World War II, I think, where the Peacemaker's in it, and then he's now the guy who was the Peacemaker is now the supervillain Leviathan in the DC universe, quite a serious character. Whereas John Cena's very dead or not Deadpoolish, depending on who you ask, version of Peacemaker. Is he the future of the DC universe? Is this going to set the
No, I just we need to stop like this whole like universe thing. It's just a TV program that's set on some DC characters. And
it's a guy from the Suicide Squad.
It's fun.
They give him his own show.
It's fun. No, don't read too much into it. Don't think, this is going to start something. I think it's just, it's a good laugh. And John Cena's all right in it. He's funny. And the Eagle's cool.
and the little judo man.
Oh, yeah.
Judo master.
Judo master.
I've seen a few clips of Judo Master. All the clips I've seen look very, very good.
It's an entertaining program, and that's like I said. You need something in your life that you can sit down and go, "Oh my god, that was actually okay to watch."
Yeah, and
instead of watching same crap all the time. It's nice to have something different on the TV.
And also, so many programs are so intense nowadays that you just want something a bit lighthearted. That's not necessarily a comedy, but it's lighthearted.
When you watch all this CW crap, and you think, "Oh, it needs a joke in here," but this is like, it's just literally a whole joke. The whole thing's a joke.
Well, like I said, for CW,
nothing serious, so it's good.
It's the same generation, not same generation, but the same age group as would be the age group that watched like Smallville and stuff like that. It's very middle of the road entertainment. It's not like, I don't know,
boring now.
Yeah, it's not for. I was about to say grown adults, but you can grow out of the CW. Do you know what I mean? After you've seen enough of it, you can go out of it and just build a bridge and leave it. It's not.
Yeah,
you can carry on doing whatever it's doing, but
it's the same audience show.
This is going to get 3 seasons, and that'd be it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think too. I don't see it go longer than that.
And then that'll be it. And it's nice to have something different. It's literally just off the back end of Suicide Squad was quite fun anyway. So.
Okay, well, the other thing that came up that was, let's see, quick Book of Boba Fett. Okay, we didn't get a chance to review this. A lot's been said about this episode. That it was episode season 2 of Mando, all the rest of that. All I need to know is, did you boys enjoy it?
Yep, loved it.
David?
I enjoyed it, but what's it got? It's not Boba Fett, was it? So they needed something to bring that show together, I think.
They obviously couldn't have the Mandalorian turn up without explaining what happened to him in between.
No, that's right. But
so he got his ship blown up. He still got the Darksaber.
It's probably the best episode of the whole series so far, but I don't know.
Yeah. I like the fact it was a Naboo starfighter. I thought that was cool. And I thought this fact
or was it Anakin starfighter?
Oh no! Fuck off! Who cares?
I like the speed pod racer. Homage.
That was cool. Yeah. I like the fact that the mechanic dated Jawas, and then that was funny. She's hilarious. I think great.
But you know, it's a little robot in that as well. Was from the last Star Wars game.
Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, I thought that was a cool little thing. I like the fact he's going to have to get some lightsaber training. And
because I was figuring this out today because I was started watching Rebel. I was watching season 3 of Rebels.
Yeah.
Like, Sabine never had trouble picking up this sword, but then she did. She said, it's really heavy," and then Kanan taught her to get in with it. So it's like,
well, because obviously it's a kyber crystal, isn't it? So
that's right. And that's what Kanan explained.
Yeah, you've got to bond with it and stuff, haven't you?
He said once you bond with it, then you takes away the heaviness of the.
And we're obviously going to see him go Mandalore and get his honor back and become. And he's gonna fight Bo-Katan. We can see that. I reckon he's gonna kill Bo-Katan.
Ooh,
I reckon.
No, apparently she's getting her own series. So another helmet.
Or defeat a third
series with someone who wears a helmet all the time.
Well, it means that they don't have to pay the actors as much because they only do half the work.
Look, I thought it was a really good episode. I think each episode of Boba Fett's just built for me.
World building. It's world building, you know.
And I don't get why so many people are upset with the story so far. The first episode, he disintegrated someone, and you had a mad.
I think it's because there's only 2 episodes left, and everyone's like, "What the hell's going on?"
I get you, but it's still like they've been really enjoyable episodes.
We've had some of the coolest stuff ever.
Meant to be a badass, and he's turned into like a big softy, hasn't he? It's like,
well, he's just doing things.
At least the Mandalorian has actually come up as the badass.
True, but I think it was a nice slow pace. Like, you're not being bad. I saw a giant black Wookiee for the first time in my life.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful moment.
With knuckle busters.
Yeah, that was a beautiful
and
moment.
rip off someone's arm.
Yeah,
because he was drunk, because he didn't want to pay his bar tab.
Yeah, looks like you need a job. I'm loving it so far. I think it's got a long way to go, and yes, it's not been as the stuff they're saying about it. It feels like they say that about every series. They were saying about that season 2 of Mandalorian. That it wasn't as exciting as perhaps they wanted it to be.
If you have excitement every episode, it's not going to feel exciting.
Yeah,
simple as that.
It's like
you need to build it up.
I think what it is, there's not enough episodes, and I think that's the big thing. So everyone wants it here and now, and there's only 7 episodes, and then you got to wait a year, maybe 2 now, because it's bringing out so much stuff.
True, and I think that could be a problem.
And then they got to link it up with everything else.
Isn't Obi-Wan next?
Yeah,
exactly.
No, but I agree with you, Dave, because to a degree, what I find really weird is not only do they not do even 10 episodes like most streaming services aim for, but they don't even do hour-long episodes.
That's right. One could be 25 minutes and one could be 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's random, isn't it? It's just
really, really random, and I find that quite strange that they do that. I'm pleased they don't have filler episodes, because my God, filler episodes are just painful whenever they're on. But what they're doing, it's sort of making these shows like cocaine, which is why I think that no matter how good they are, people have a come down after watching them, and they're like, "What's that good?" They get upset with Disney, and I think they need to sort it out. I'm not saying do 20 episodes, but
they are the only shows I watched twice. I never watched the Falcon twice and stuff like that. All the Mandalorian and Boba Fett ones, I've always watched twice in a week.
No,
but maybe that's the Star Wars nerd in me.
The nerd is strong with you, Dave, but there's nothing wrong with that. But no, it'll be interesting. We've got 2 episodes, I think, left. So it'll be interesting to see which way those go, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think the last episode might surprise people, at how far it goes. Because the last episode we had, even though it was Mando, I mean, he cut a brother in half.
Yeah.
There was like, wait, hold on. So I think the way Boba Fett's behaving is purposely being set up. So when you get to the final episode,
so he gets his rage and just goes mental.
Yeah, he just goes to town on people. Like, he just takes.
He's going to be riding a Rancor.
Yeah,
and just ripping people apart.
He's soft for the Rancor, but the Rancor's going to come out and it's going to be like, yep, just take some people out. But we'll see.
But isn't there a thing on Mandalore? When I was watching Rebels today, there was a big monster on Mandalore,
the Mythosaur.
That they used to ride.
Yeah.
So is he going to learn to ride the Rancor to get onto one of those?
I reckon what you're going to see in the Mandalorian is he's going to ride a Mythosaur with Darksaber and like unite all the Mandalorians.
And I reckon he'll turn against the Night Watch guys.
Yeah, 100%.
You will turn against them because you'll realise that they're just religious fanatics and dictators, and that they're actually following the Sith Lord, Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, yeah.
That's what I reckon will happen there. Now, some stuff we all watched, some stuff we didn't. Dave, Eternals. What did you think of it?
The first time I watched it, I thought it was okay. The second time I watched it, I thought it was a lot better. Because the first time I watched it during the day, and I was a bit tired, and I fell asleep, to tell you the truth.
All right. Well, how many out of 10?
The second time I watched it, out of 10, 7.
Okay. Fair enough. I think
I gave review. There you go.
I think I gave it 7 myself at the time that I reviewed it. Mike, what was your take on the Eternals? Were you all right with it?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. Didn't really care.
Yeah, I think that was part of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tried twice.
I enjoyed it.
But the second time was better.
I liked the whole thing with the Eternal sticking his head out. I thought that was quite a ballsy move by Marvel, because normally they don't do that sort of thing. Even the final battle with Thanos took place away from public center, populous center.
It was all daylight as well.
Yeah, so I thought this was really, really, really cool. This, but yeah, I think I gave it 7 as well. Okay, a new series is started up on Amazon, which again, it's another animation. I'm not going to suggest you watch it, even though I think you'd like it. It's Vox Machina. I watched.
Apparently, that's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. There you go.
It's that
that is Cobra Kai, though.
it's called Vox Machina. It's based on a podcast where these guys used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they basically play the worst sort of characters you can imagine. As an example, the episode that I saw, the first episode I saw, opens with them at a bar, and basically they're drinking, fighting, throwing up, and the dwarf shagging the barmaid's daughter. And
it sounds like a night in the malt house.
And that's basically how it carries on, but it's set in a sort of Dungeons and Dragons type world. It's called Critical Role, I believe.
Oh, I know Critical Role.
Yeah, so Vox Machine is based on it. And I'm pretty sure, I actually haven't looked up the cast list, but it sounds like Jack Black's in there.
Oh, that's cool.
So I would suggest that I've enjoyed the first 3 episodes, and I know, Dave, you don't like the animation, but I think it's the same animation team that did Invincible. And yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. But that would be my suggestion. Check it out, guys.
What, you didn't like Hitmonkey?
In there. I was all right with Hitmonkey. I just think it could have been a lot more, not violent, but just it could have just done a bit more. It was, the pace was a bit slow, but I enjoyed it. Like, I'll go back and finish it. But Vox Machina,
one episode enough.
Yeah, I much prefer Vox Machina, and Vox Machina will get my 7. Why am I always giving 7 points? I'll give
as good as Arcane.
I'll give Vox Machina 8 points of glory there from me, and I suggest you guys watch it. I quite enjoyed it. And what else did they need? Right, okay. Has anybody watched Dune yet? No? Have you frozen?
It's a bit cold out here, but yeah.
Right, okay. So I watched Dune, and
of course you did.
Well, I just felt the urge to watch it. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it anyway. I know I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna watch it, and I watched it. And can I just say, it is good. It is really, really good. But it's something that, you know, when they say you should watch something,
you get through the 2.5 hours.
It flies by. It really
not like the first original film.
No, because the first film sort of glosses over a lot of stuff. This film is the first half of the story, so it ends halfway through where the original film did.
Okay.
So it's different in that sense. They're taking their time. Whole heap of action. It looks very different. And if you watch Dune, I keep saying this to people, so many sci-fi films are in a Dune, like Star Wars. Like it's all in there. Luke, Paul, sandworms, a different version of the Force, if you will. I'm not a big fan of the whole, I don't know, the obsession with empires, like in the far future, in the way they're set up. I let it go with Dune, because Dune is just, if you watch it, right, all I'm going to say to you is make sure you watch it on a big wide screen and put your sound up high. Because this is the type of film that you're watching it and it's like, there's lots of sound going on, there's lots of music going on, and it's an experience. And I give them that. They've made a very enjoyable product. I just think it should have been in the cinema. They should have done what they've done with Game of Thrones with this and just made a TV show. I don't think this has got the legs to last. Like, if they're going to tell all the Dune stories, the cinema audience isn't going to be there for it. I just don't think it's got enough weight to carry it, as enjoyable as it is, because it's a lot of money for starters, but 2, it's like Dune's a very old story. It's very dated in a lot of ways. Like the idea of a chosen one isn't something that cinemas do so much anymore, and I think that's why something like The Matrix kind of flopped. The idea of a chosen one and somebody's born to save the entire universe doesn't really work, and I think Dune's really dated in that sort of storytelling sense. And I think people blow far too much smoke up its ass for being a great sci-fi, when really it's just it's just medieval Europe transported to the far future. You know, Duke, Emperor, you know, killing entire families. It's very Italian.
£5 well spent then.
15.
You spent £15. How did you manage to spend £15?
I bought it. Then. I bought it. Yeah. That's what.
Why would you not rent it before you bought it?
Because I'm a sci-fi nerd. I'm gonna buy it. It's not like I knew it wouldn't be a bad film. So I think it's just not gonna have the legs.
So you're gonna watch it again? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. I'll definitely watch it again.
How many times?
Can I finish my review?
No. I want to know how many times you're gonna watch it.
A few times.
For it to be worth 15 quid, you're going to have to watch it at least 5 times.
Well, no, it's a great date night film. And like I said,
you got to get a date first, my friend.
What I'm trying to say is they did a really good job on it. It's presented really well. The music's good. The soundtrack's good. The performances are great. Jason Momoa pops up in there at one point and does a really good run. And there's other characters who come into it. But as I've said before, I just think this is it's a very dated concept. And it would have done better as a TV series than a film. And I think that outside of doing the second part to this, I'd be very surprised if they carried on as a film franchise, because it's just too much. It's too much for a cinema screen, and it's going to struggle to keep an audience, especially as the later books just get crazy. I mean, we're talking worm gods and all sorts, and I'm like, okay, I just don't see there being an audience for it. So my rating for this film, I'm gonna give it.
I'll spit it out.
I'm gonna.
If it's less than 5.
No, I'm gonna say, like, I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it an 8. But I think that's because it's nerd and it's sci-fi. I'm down with that, but I think for a wider audience, it's gonna.
Is it an Expanse 8 or a Star Wars 8?
It's if you like I said, if you watch it, it's got so much of Star Wars in it, and even not Expanse so much. It's more there's this sort of sci-fi is like I said, empires and stuff like that. It's more magical than it is like grounded, like
it's fantasy.
Expanses. Yeah, Expanse is very grounded sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it and I'd thoroughly recommend it. So 8. I'm giving it 8 glory points.
Okay. When I watch it, I'm gonna say, how did you give it 8 when it could have been a 10? But hey, I'll have to watch it first.
It's missing a certain something, which I think you'll see when you watch it. It is missing something, like a good ending, but it's
well, no, because it's the first part, so the ending doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, but I don't. Again, you'll see what I mean. It would do so much better of a TV show. You cannot do films like this. Like, could you imagine Game of Thrones in the cinema as a cinematic film? Could you imagine Game of Thrones? And it's the same thing with this. And I don't care how much people love certain sci-fi.
If you read the books of Game of Thrones, then yeah, you could see it as a cinema.
As a continuous cinema franchise.
No, but you could see it as 9 films. You could.
Yeah, but
if you read the books. But if you don't read the books and you just go and watch the TV show, then it's a completely different aspect.
I think the only time those franchises sign to work is when they're very simple stories to follow, like say Harry Potter. You know, how many films of Harry Potter? Like 6?
8.
8 films, right? They managed to pull it off because it's a very simple story. Kids lose parents. Kid goes to live with his abusive aunt. Kid goes to school once a year where enemy tries to kill him, but he has to work out a way to stop him. Then goes back to his,
there you go.
Then goes back to his abusive parents. It's a very simple
Darth
story.
Vader tries to can't kill him. There you go.
But yeah, that's just my point of view. But yeah, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and I think you'll enjoy it if you're a sci-fi fan. Otherwise, you may find it a bit plodding, but I thought it was quite good. I think that's it. Was there anything else that anybody watched? I know, Dave, did you watch Big Sky? Are you back in with the Big Sky?
You know what? I'm actually not really enjoying this new season. I keep falling asleep.
That's always a sure sign when Dave goes to sleep.
But do you know what? Do you know what I did watch this week? I watched Unbreakable, Glass, and Split.
Is it Split?
Yeah. Well, it's Unbreakable, then Split, then Glass.
Okay.
What's Glass like? I've not seen that.
Do you know what? It shouldn't have been made. They should just left it.
Or they should have gotten somebody who.
I watched Split for the first time. I'd never seen Split.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
I thought it was probably one of the best films I've ever seen. I hated James McAvoy until I watched this film. He was on my shit list with the other two.
Split would have been a perfectly good film if it was left on its own.
Yeah, that should have been a solo film, and it was really good. And I really enjoyed it.
Glass, it's not that Glass is rubbish. It's just not good enough. It tries to steal. It's like
I think it's the fact that they just throw them all into a mental home, and there's only the three of them there, and they just want to fight out. And it's like, what's the point?
It's like an anti-X-Men. Yeah, so it's like a reverse of the X-Men story. What if the bad guys got to the mutants first? And that's basically what it is, and that's the twist. And it just sort of doesn't work because it plods along, and then again, I think
it's just to finish the saga.
Yeah,
he didn't want to make it as a saga, but everyone else, the fans wanted a saga.
Mm.
And people give Shyamalan too much credit. The man's got no, as far as I'm concerned, he's not a very good storyteller. Unbreakable was his,
It's the first time I've watched Unbreakable since it originally came out. Mm. And I just sat there and watched it because it came out on Disney Plus. And I thought, you know what? No, I actually thought it was pretty good. Mate, I was stuck in my room for a week with fucking COVID. It's not a nice experience. You literally just sit there bored out your face. So you need to watch something.
Fair enough. Have you not seen Glass then, Mike?
No.
Okay.
It's on my list.
It's on Disney Plus.
Is it on there now?
Yeah. So you got Unbreakable and Glass, but you haven't got Split. No.
All right.
I had to go and knock off Nigel for a Split because I wasn't paying to watch it.
Allegedly.
I wasn't paying for it after it had been on Netflix and everything, but apparently everyone said because it was all split personalities, it was all wrong and all that. Do you know what?
Well,
Try and find it somewhere.
Other news, another thing that we were going to review was All of Us Are Dead, but it's proven not to be as much of a Squid Games hit as I thought it would be. It's a great little zombie show. It's on Netflix about school kids in a small town city getting having to deal with zombie invasion, but it's not, and they're badass zombies. I might add.
From a mouse.
Another
one from a mouse.
Yeah, they're those sort of mouth first zombies, like they throw themselves head first at their target, and I love those types of zombies. But it's proved not to be as good as I thought it would be. I'm going to wait till it finishes when I watch it, and then I might do a review. The other show I watched, I've almost got to the end of Cobra Kai now.
Well done.
And
I've done the whole 10 episodes of High Fidelity as well.
Oh, I loved that.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's actually pretty good. I was actually quite shocked how good it was.
It was so
good. With Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, because it got cancelled, didn't it?
It was such a good. I liked it. It was such a nice little.
It's a nice chilled out program to watch.
Yeah, nice. It's a nice sort of twist on it as well. You know.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, and Yellow Jackets I watched as well. That was really good. The whole season of that.
Oh.
That's about American soccer team, girls soccer team. They get trapped in the Alps, not the Alps. What's the big mountain place in America? No, they had a plane crash and
Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. It's a good thriller. Okay. We've actually started watching Mike's program now as well, Christine. Not Christine. The one with Luther. Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, well, Hannibal.
No, the other one with the bird.
Oh, Clarice.
Yeah, I started watching that. That's on Sky now.
Oh, wow, is that still going?
Well, it's the first season, but Mike managed to watch it before it came out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's been an interesting week. In a week where we've seen Microsoft buy lots of stuff, Sony buy lots of stuff, everybody turn on Boba Fett, and Marvel released 2 separate Captain Americas. This has been another week of the global. Ooh, hey, almost done it.
Once a week. Yeah. Let's do it once a week because this show doesn't earn as many credits as this one. Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Boys from Bossk. We'll keep hunting for you, ladies and gentlemen, with more stories, more news, and more entertainment next week. I'll certainly, once I finish Cobra Kai, come back with somewhat of a review. As I've said, check out Dune
review
of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it's just
what?
Just karate, isn't it?
But I will at some point get to the end of it. By next week, we should be near the penultimate episode of Boba Fett, and we should have more news on up and coming shows on Disney Plus, HBO, and Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening patiently. You can get our podcast wherever you download your podcasts. Tell your mother, tell your daughters, and tell your aunts. The Boys from Bossk are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Oui.